Hello, BookTube, and welcome back to your Daily Penguin, a slow waddle through all the penguins that have come and gone in my life. And of course, when it comes to classic books, dude, we're talking about philosophy. The books that matter, the books that last. We are returning to Kierkegaard. This is a penguin collection of papers and journals. Kierkegaard didn't live a long time, but he wrote indefatigably while he was alive, from when he was in his mid-teens to the end of his life. In journal entries, endless journal entries and endless letters, outpourings of personal papers that he never meant to publish, never meant for the world to see. All of this in addition to the work that he did mean for the world to see, that did eventually get published. And it's a vast body of work. This is a Penguin classic that does a real service to English language readers of Kierkegaard by pulling together really intelligently chosen selections from all of that work. This is not the whole. This is a fairly big Penguin classic. It's, I think, like 500 pages long, but it's nowhere near as big as the Zibaldone of Kierkegaard's entire life would be. It's nowhere near that big. Instead, the editors here, the translators, has chosen to group things by the preoccupations, whatever was bothering our egghead at the time, and give them careful prizing out from the mass of stuff. A lot of stuff in Kierkegaard's journals is formless. I know that's shocking when it comes to philosophy. A lot of it is formless. A lot of it is incoherent. Again, shocking when it comes to philosophy. So this is some Penguin classics just show up and do their duty. And I don't mean to denigrate them at all. They do a great job. If you're doing a Penguin classic of The Eustace Diamonds by Anthony Trollope, of course you won't do that anymore. Penguin Classics won't reprint Trollope anymore. But if you were to do that, well, there's a set text for The Eustace Diamonds. And it was serialized, and then it was printed as a book. Trollope oversaw both those things. So it's a clear path to you what you want to do editorially speaking. And then in the olden days, you would get somebody to make really good notes on the Eustace Diamonds, wherever it's needed. Isn't needed much. And that would be that. You would do an introduction. You would do some notes. You would pick the right text. You would clean it up. You would present it as a paperback, and that would be that. That is what happens when a reprint house shows up and does its job. And I love when Penguin does that, regardless of what the book is. But every once in a while, Penguin will also do extra work. They will make something that didn't exist before as a service to readers. And they do usually a great job of it. And this is one of those times. This volume is a curated tour, a very knowledgeable tour of the obiter dicta of a megawatt thinker, a thinker who never stopped writing, a graphomaniac. This is a guided tour of that in a very intelligently done way, under the assumption that A, most readers will not read these things in the original, and that B, even if you do read them in the original, you won't read all of them. You won't read all of it. And that's a real service. This is Kierkegaard being bearable to the limited extent that he was ever able to do that. This is Kierkegaard being bearable, as opposed to the unbearability of his actual formal philosophical thoughts. His actual philosophical tomes are as opaque and unreadable and incredibly navel-gazing as all the rest of philosophy. But not this, not here. Here he wasn't writing for an audience that he was intentionally trying to mystify. So this actually makes for good reading. It's intermittent reading. You can't make it up and just read it from start to finish. You could, but it would be a weird, jumpy experience. The seams show in between the decades that are being concentrated on here. The seams show, and they couldn't not. That's not a criticism of the editorial apparatus. This is very much a Kierkegaard book worth having, as you would expect on this channel, right? Since I am the Dude Bro King. I don't read anything but philosophy by white men. Anyway, that's your Daily Penguin for today. A very interesting volume that I believe is still in print. So if you want to know something of the way that Kierkegaard's capacious mind worked, but you don't want to subject yourself to his long works of philosophy, there you go. You've got a perfect opportunity now. So I'll wrap this up for now, and we'll see each other next time. Thank you, BookTube.